Hello, I'm Denis Waitley. I'm so excited to share with you in the official launch of one of the great new educational resources in the world, pingshare. What a wonderful opportunity it's going to be, and it is for all of you and to me to be able to share with some of the great thought leaders in the world all of the knowledge that has been accumulated, all of the current neuroscience, behavioral, financial, educational, family, the kind of leadership concepts and ideas that we all need in this fast-forward world with more changes in one of our days than in a decade of our grandparents' lives. You know, this was supposed to be a time of awakening and a time of a dawning of technology, and what we've ended up feeling is that we've been experiencing one of the greatest challenges in modern history, up close and personal. We're not all only interconnected, we're interrelated, we're totally involved. What happens in Beijing happens in New York. What happens in Los Angeles happens in Shanghai, in Kuala Lumpur, Indonesia, Singapore, Taiwan. We're all so interconnected in this knowledge-based world that's constantly changing. In fact, it's changing so fast we can scarcely get a breath. But for the first time in history, thanks to this new concept in motion, pingshare, we all have an opportunity on a handheld smartphone device and on our laptop screen to experience some of the great thought leaders, some of the great legacy leadership learning, some of the greatest teachers throughout the world, some of the greatest knowledge, not only from history, but that is being developed and mined every single day. And I'm so honored and privileged that my two dear lifelong friends, Wilson and Robert, have invited me to share as a consultant and advisor to pingshare so that I can bring what little I know from the past 50 years. I've been very fortunate to be one of the pioneers in the United States in the personal and professional development movement, along with my dear friends, Stephen Covey, Zig Ziglar, John Maxwell, Jim Rohn, Tony Robbins, but I could go on and on. Earl Nightingale, W. Clement Stone, Norman Vincent Peale, all of the thought leaders in the United States. I've been very fortunate that I'm still here. You know, I was in Beijing and Shanghai not too long ago, and a young man came up to me because he saw me quoting Confucius. And, you know, Confucius had some very wise wisdom, as did Lao Tzu and all of the great philosophers of the past. But this young man came up to me and he said, "Wow, you've been quoting Confucius a lot. Did you go to school with him?" And I said, "Actually, Confucius is 1,800 years old. I'm only 800 years old. But I've had the privilege of working with thought leaders, government leaders, Apollo astronauts going to the moon, football and athletic champions. As chairman of psychology for the United States Olympics, my volunteer job during several Olympiads was to provide mental training for all American Olympians, working with the top sports psychologists and psychiatrists in their fields. I've been able to see up close, personal, what it takes to be the inner winner, to be the champion within, to be doing within when you're doing without, to get the knowledge, to have the belief, to have the motivation, to have the dedication, to put the skills together, to have the focus, to turn dreams into destiny, to turn ideas into goals, to turn thoughts into things and actions. This is what education is all about. If you're a really good teacher, then you're a permanent student. And you always remain curious to learn more because there's always more to learn. I really love what Einstein said. Knowledge is great, but knowledge is limited to all we now know. Imagination is unlimited because it's all about what we have yet to know and will ever know. So this will be a combination of some of the greatest educational programs, whether you're a business student, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're in corporate life, whether you want to know more about how to raise a family properly, what you want to increase your self-esteem, your self-confidence. You want to develop the life management skills necessary to navigate the whitewater world. As I said, with more changes in one of our days than in a decade of our grandparents' lives. This is the best time to have ever been alive in history, because it's the first time in history when we all have access to knowledge. The empires of the future will not be made of brick and stone and glass with turrets and armies. The empires of the future will be empires of the mind, because within your own mind and brain is all the potential you'll ever need in order to live a life full of fulfillment and richness in every sense. And so I want to thank again Wilson, Lynn, and Robert for inviting me to serve as a consultant and advisor in pingshare. And I'm looking forward to participating and offering what I know about having worked with people going to the moon, people leading countries, people building multinational companies, people who under great stress are doing high performance things like our Olympians. So I'd like to challenge each of you to join in pingshare and bring out the inner winner in you. Bring out the Olympian within, the champion within, and make pingshare your point of launch for the rest of your life to gain what you need to know in order to be at the very top of your game. Remember, when things are going well, you coast. When things are not going well, you must be at your very best. And the best way to handle any fear or any concern is to gain the knowledge, the attitudes, the skills, and the habits of a champion. And the best way to do that is to fill yourself up with concepts and actions that really work, and to be proactive instead of reactive in your future. I'm sure looking forward to sharing with you and teaching what little I know about planting the seeds of greatness. My only goal as a teacher, as a gardener, is to plant shade trees for future generations under which I myself will never sit. I want to welcome you again to one of the great learning opportunities you'll ever have. Ping, share.